It is so beautiful. I'm going to mix up a big batch of glaze today. The recipe is by Old Forge Creations. The one I'm doing today is floating iron. I've made a big batch of a different glaze before, but not this one. I've done a little sample pot in the past, which I'm pleased with. This is just me scaling it up. I've got all my equipment ready, all my ingredients, and I'll show you the process that I used and the results. What I've done already is I've got a list of all the ingredients I need and the quantities, so I can mark them off as I go. I've got my water ready. I've got 4 litres of water, 4 litres of water, which will go against 5 kilograms of dry materials once finished, which will be enough glaze to basically fill this bucket, or most of it, with headspace to dip as well. Weighing scales, tub for the dry ingredients, and scoops and things. If you're handling red iron oxide, do it last. It stains everything. We got everything mixed. What I did after getting all the dry ingredients in the bucket of water and it closed was wipe everything down, rinse anything that had the dry glaze ingredients on it, open all the windows and the door, and then leave and take off my mask to let the studio air out a bit. So I just took lunch. I let the studio air for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It's freezing cold. What I gotta do is really thoroughly mix it. Read Old Forge Creations blog posts about glaze. That's where I'm getting stuff from. It's really thorough. He had some really good points about using an immersion blender, just to make sure you really break up everything that's clumping. You can get much better color that way. That's what I do. I have a tiny immersion blender, which I think I need to replace. It's probably too small actually. So I've got some little test size. B8 will be a 3-second dip, B9 will be a 5-second dip. Glaze firing is done for the floating iron glaze. It went terribly. It went really badly. Entirely my fault. Well, not the recipe's fault. This was the test tile that I did for the small sample that I made up. This is the small sample, the tester. I was pleased with it. Great. Let's scale it up. That's what I did in this video. What I didn't realise at the time was that my weighing scale was broken. Scales. I realised the day after I mixed up the glaze, whenever I was wedging up balls of clay, that it was giving me different answers every time, considerably. And I'd already mixed the glaze. I couldn't undo it. So I fired them anyway. I thought we'd see how bad it was. And it's really bad. It's nothing like it should be. It's this really thick, drippy, creamy pearl colour. Those are the two test tiles. No discernible difference between the two lengths of dipping, but also nothing like what they should be. And I also foolishly tested on a couple of small pieces. So this is a little incense burner tower that I made. It's so thick that it's covered up all the etchings that I made. It's so drippy, it almost went onto the kiln shelf. Well, cookie, because thankfully I didn't make every mistake possible. So I fired two of these. One ran so much it's completely stuck. They're both ruined, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. It's a big batch. I made a lot of that glaze. It's just really bad luck. It was just the weighing scales. I've bought new weighing scales since, but it's too late for this. The only thing I can think to maybe do is let me get my recipe. So I got the recipe I followed. It's not my recipe, it's not the recipe's fault, obviously. And the base ingredients are all quite chunky amounts. The smallest is 500 grams of whiting. I think it's hard to imagine that I got the 500, it's hard to imagine the weighing scales got 500 grams particularly wrong. It would have doubled that. So if we assume that the big quantities are probably somewhat correct, or not too incorrect, the three smaller ones, the 100 grams of bentonite, the 125 grams titanium dioxide, and the 50 grams red iron oxide are probably what's gone off. So I could try free pour some of this in. If this should have had 50 grams, and you can kind of see it in the sampler, it looks pretty similar to the oxide. This looks nothing like the oxide, it's so washed out. I'm so disheartened. I'm just glad that I tested, because I already tested the sample. Yeah, I might try fix it at a later stage. At the minute, I think I need to step away from it. My experience when something goes wrong is to let it be for a while so that I don't do anything silly, like throw it away or overreact. So this was a failure. It's not the most expensive mistake because mixing glaze is kind of cheaper than buying them mixed up, but it's still such a waste potentially if I can't fix it. Not a good result. If you have any tips for what you would do to try fix this, please let me know. I know so little about glazing, which is why I'm following other people's recipes. I have an idea. I work so much better whenever I let mistakes sit for a bit. I was thinking, I ordered the glaze ingredients that I've been using about a year ago. I ordered them all at once. I ordered them from the same place. I have a record of what I ordered, of how much I ordered, and I've only used these for a handful of projects so far. I've made one big batch successfully, one big batch unsuccessfully, and a handful of samplers, the small ones, and then an oxide test, which used tiny amounts. So I was able to sit down and figure out how much I should have used by this stage. But I've been able to work out how much of each ingredient I should still have, according to how much I intended to use for each project. Out of all my projects, only one has gone awry. All the samplers and the one big batch that I made successfully all turned out perfectly. So assuming they were all fairly accurate, assuming I only have one mistake, I should be able to fix it, hopefully. If I've That is, if I've not put in enough of something. So I'm going to start measuring out how much I have. Firstly with the red iron oxide, which I think is possibly the culprit. Where's my phone? I did this all on a spreadsheet and I tried to print it out. But the printer just, I hate printers. It wouldn't work for me. So I should have 480 grams of red iron oxide. Oh, and new weighing scales. This was €15, which is pretty cheap. And I've tested these in my kitchen with a second weighing scales. I'm going to mask up and measure these out. What? I've just made a mistake. I thought, so my weighing scales were broken. They weren't working for the clay that I was wedging up. So I assumed they were broken whenever I was measuring up the glaze ingredients. But they might have been working and it might have just been me. I wrote down all the glaze ingredients I needed for the big batch of floating iron, which I copied off my spreadsheet, where I worked out how much I needed of everything. And I missed a zero because I've got like 940 grams of red iron oxide. I should have 480 grams. This should have been obvious. I've written down to add 50 grams of red iron oxide, which was just just the wrong number. That should be 500. God, are the other amounts right? Yeah, because I used 20 grams of red iron oxide. For this small 200 grams of dry ingredients worth of sample, I used 20 grams of red iron oxide. That's great though. That's such an easy fix. Plus I get new weighing scales, which I needed anyway. I'm so embarrassed. Well, oh God. Okay. Yeah. I gotta put this back on to. So this is the color now, which is significantly closer to the sample that I mixed up. This being the sample, yeah. I have high hopes. I'm gonna do 2 dips again like last time. The test tiles didn't show any difference in the previous test between a 3 and a 5 second dip, but I tried the new glaze on 2 of these incense towers that I'm making and it ran quite a bit, so I'm going to test again, 3 and 5. I'm going to use cookies again, or biscuits, just to protect the kiln shelf. And I'd like to get the kiln on tonight if I can. Yeah, it's 7:15. I should have time. There's a couple of other things I want to get in. So yeah, wish me luck for the second time, or the third time. That's much better this time. That's so much better. Oh, I'll show you in better light. We made it. These are the 2 test tiles. It went really well. The issue was entirely mine. It was just a numerical mistake. Decimal points are important. This is a really lovely glaze. I'm really excited that I've got it to a level that I'm happy to use it. I have 2 piles of bisqueware that I'm ready and excited to use this on. It did turn out a little bit thick. It's quite drippy on these. It did not drip onto the cookie that I fired it on. This one is the 3-second dip. This one is the 5-second dip. I think I just need to water down the glaze a little bit before I use it again, but I'm happy just to continue now. That is a success. Thanks for bearing with. It was touch and go. I had to do a real test. So these were the little test tiles, which look lovely, but this is what the glaze looks like on a big piece. It is so beautiful. It's got this like brown base with a silvery grey blue cloud where it's rich. It's stunning. I'm so thrilled with how this turned out. I'm really glad I persevered. I tested it on 4 different forms just to really give it a proper test, and it looks wonderful in bowls, on plates. It looks so good on plates because you can really let the glaze go thick without risk of it running. Not that it ran at all on the sides, it was wonderful, but it just really lets you show off the full depth of colour on a plate. And a bowl, a wide bowl like this. But it's wonderful on a vase as well. It's really thick and rich. And I tested it on a small piece for a separate project. This is a little incense tower, and I've carved in little windows and a door, and I was a little concerned that the glaze would completely cover the carvings, whereas I want the carvings to be accentuated. And it is settled perfectly in each little carving that I've done. It's just a little dark outline for each window and for the door, which is exactly what I wanted. This glaze is not going to solve all my life problems, but I feel like it might. Incredible. I should have upscaled this glaze sooner. I think whenever you test things on a small piece, it's great to do tests on small pieces. It's so practical, but you don't know exactly how something is going to look on a big piece until you put it on a big piece. Oh, what one next? Actually, I have more glaze ingredients on the way. Some have already arrived. This is chrome oxide, which a tiny amount of this with tin, I think, will give me a pink glaze, which I can slightly change to also give me a purple glaze. And I think that's what I'm going to do next. If you want to see me mix up more of these glazes, if that's interesting, please do let me know. I'm mixing up the glaze regardless. Whether I film it or not is up to you. It's so incredible. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.